back in January 1957, the foundation opened for business, and its primary, in fact, its sole reason for existence at that time was to help individuals trace their family history. That's what we started doing. And over the course of nearly 70 years, we've built up a massive archive. You see that behind me. But what they represent is the hard work and effort of all the individuals who worked on behalf of clients down the years to try and identify their ancestors from the information that was supplied by the client. Now, why is that relevant? Well, for a long time, all they've done is sit here in cardboard boxes. We wanted to make the content accessible to the public. And we're doing that now thanks to the Big Ask, because we are releasing a first tranche of these oldest files that we collected and compiled going back to 1957, as I say. And so we're making that content available in a digital, not purely OCR and text searchable format, but making it as available and accessible as we possibly can to Guild members and other users at this point in time. And as I say, thanks to the Big Ask that we've been able to at last get this project up and running, something that we have wanted to do for so many years. And so on the website, you will see indexes to these reports. These are the individual client reports that we did starting back in the late 1950s, and we continue to do to this day. And you will have access to that content via an index, which gives clues as to the name, obviously, but also the location. And there you might think, oh, right, I could be interested in Mullen from County Armagh. But it's not only that. It's not only the content. And remember, this was done in the early period, at least, before we have any computerization, digitization, and very few manual resources alone. So it was hard work. And what the client files also show, and is very instructive to users now, is the process that the researcher went through based on what the client provided and what they arrived at. Now, sometimes that might be a long report running to 10 pages or more. Sometimes it might be a very short report because either there was very little to go on to start with or very little to find in the archive. But it represents a body of material that modern researchers at the present time and into the future can continue to benefit from. And that's why we're delighted to be making available this first tranche of our old research reports available on our website. So we want to be at the Foundation's homepage. Also make sure that you've logged in first before you start trying to use the data sets. Then we're going to go to start searching, go to the drop down, search our online databases. And that's going to bring us to the top of the most recently added data sets. So we can see them listed here. And if we come down this entry, Ulster Historical Foundation research files, there's just over 3,500 of these been added. And if we just click into view records, we can see the search box. You can also read about the data set here. So I'm just going to use the surname Dempsey for this search. I could narrow it down by county, but there's no need to do that. So I'll just leave it as it is. You can also add in other information to refine your search if you find there's a lot of results brought back. But I'm just looking on Dempsey. And then we have two results, Belfast or Londonderry and Dromeel Achadui County Londonderry. So we'll click on the second one. We can see here the crucial reference is what you need, G4274. We can see the information again is displayed. The location for this family starts at Dromeel Achadui. But note here in the notes section, details included in this file may also include references to other locations and counties, not just County Londonderry. Remembering that family history reports often will pick up on several locations or several different surnames as the work continues. And we can see this report is actually right at the start of the collection. So we could just have to click on view source. If we go down here to the table of contents, we can see G4274 is the very first file. So we don't actually need to use it in this instance. The file's already loaded and in front of us. If I just go back. So this is the file, the narrative of the report, and then some of the results. And you can see we're starting off in this case with tithe appointment books from 1834 for Dromall. And the report goes on to list information by location and individual found in other sources, including, for example, Griffith's valuation, but also land and estate records, for example, here for the Worshipful Company of Ironmongers. And there we have the end of the report. Now to go back, we're going to use just the back button on the browser because where the reports are stored is a different location from the website itself. So we just go back to the search results and we can begin searching again. And we have 2 reports from McClelland. You can see there's a number of locations listed related to this report. You can see it's file G4220. You have to log in again. So there's a new unique login for these different reports. And that opens that report for us. Okay. And back to search results. To everybody who supported the Big Ask, we are truly grateful for your support over this past 12 months. And just to let you know, we have been busy over the summer months and we'll update you soon in the Clotonga Bugle, our mid-year publication for members.